Live from Studio 1A in Rockefeller Plaza, this is the third hour of Today.
Coming up on Motivational Monday, the power of resilience and how we can all get better at bouncing back.
Today's Motivational Monday is all about the power of resilience, so important, and the importance of learning how to bounce back in all sorts of situations. So here to teach us how to sharpen that skill is clinical psychologist and best-selling author Jody Carrington. Good morning to you.
Good morning to you.
Let's just zoom right in here and get right to it. Tell me how you define resilience.
So resilience is your ability to adapt to difficult things or hard things or trauma, right? It's not what happens to you, it's how you respond to it that matters. And the ironic thing is we're not born with it. The only way you learn how to be resilient is you go through the tough stuff. It's who's with you that is the big kicker.
About that part of it. So when it comes to resilience, how important is strength?
Oh, so like it is something that you build, as you know. Strength as a word, you build it in response to what you go through. And we were never meant to do any of this alone. And we've never sort of been more disconnected in the history of the free world than we are in this moment.
Because of there's like a loneliness epidemic right now?
Well, I think the big question is, why do we need resilience? I think there's never been a more important time to sort of develop this skill, to be aware of this skill. And why? Because we're neurobiologically wired for connection. So whoever created us said there's two rules of this human race. Number one, you're neurobiologically wired for connection. You disconnect from an infant, they die. But number two is the curveball. Right? The hardest thing we will ever do as humans is look at each other.
Yeah.
So we've never had so many opportunities to look away. Yeah, the allure of the algorithm takes us away, the proximity to our children. It's estimated that our grandparents looked at their babies 72% more of the time than we look at our babies today.
Wow.
And that's something. So when we think about this loneliness epidemic, it really leads into this process of burnout. We're exhausted. The definition of burnout is really, Freudenberger came up with this in 1950. So he basically said, when the resources outside of work are not greater than the ones inside of work, the ones that are supposed to fill your soul, you'll burn out.
Wow.
And so many of us, right, outside of work don't find that replacement because the 40-hour work week is asinine. We don't get a break from the people or the children or our parents.
Yeah.
And so our ability to regulate emotion has become really tricky. And this is expanded since the introduction of the smartphone. 2006, right? The forward-facing camera, 2009. Sleep deprivation. We're a tired bunch. We really want to go to bed at night, but we've never had so many opportunities to not rest.
It's no wonder you put all that there, yeah.
How is this all impacting our kids? I mean, I feel like as parents, we don't want them to go through some of the tough stuff, but you say you learn how to be resilient by going through the tough stuff. So how are kids navigating this?
Here's the trick. People ask me this all the time. Are the kids okay? The kids are okay. The big people are what I'm worried about. Because if the big people aren't okay, the little people don't stand a chance. And I think so much of the time, we spend a lot of time. We're the first generation of parents with social media. We talk about kids all the time, right? But I'm more worried about the big people.
Let's talk about some practical ways to help. Let's talk about some ways we can bounce back. And you call them the 3 R's?
Yes.
Give us the first R.
Yeah. I'll tell you, the most important lesson you will ever teach your children, your grandchildren, Al, is this capacity to regulate emotion. And so how you stay calm in times of distress, how you don't lose your friggin' mind. Okay? And when you have that skill, you're better at everything, right? But you're not born with it. Somebody's got to show you how to do it. And so if we needed to get back to the best part of regulation in this moment, so do this with me, okay? Take a deep breath and drop your shoulders. We spend the vast majority of our day with these up here.
I really had to go down far.
Listen, if you think about me anytime during the day, you put shoulders on your computer, a little sticky note. Every time you see that note, I bet you this will be where they are.
Okay.
Wiggle your toes.
What does that do?
So it brings you all back into your body, right? Drop your tongue from the roof of your mouth. When you're doing Dateline and you're right into it, guess what? You're ready to fight. This is what happens. You hear a ding on your computer, you get a notification on your watch. All of that data, our parents never had.
That is so true.
We never had. So every time that little hit of cortisol goes, we're ready. So drop your tongue from the roof of your mouth, the most primitive response to stress. and then let your gut out.
I always do that.
Listen, only shoot me from the top here if you could. Because what happens is we're like, oh, no, we're good.
Yeah,
We're just in yoga. We're so... It's yoga.
You just want to like go like this.
Oh, that's
Yes.
good.
And then you get tired, which is what I want you to do. So in doing therapy, I want you to be exhausted because you give yourself permission to rest. We don't give ourselves
The others are
Jody,
reconnect and restore, and let's put all this on our website.
You're the real deal.
Thank you.
Thank you so
for
much.
having me.
Thank
Great to have you here.
Almost too relaxed to keep going.
Like sit here like this.